My name is Kalpana and I welcome you to my YouTube channel where I teach you how to sew like a pro. In this series of 4 videos, I'm going to be sewing 4 blouses, which actually I'm sewing for one of my customers. She's an influencer. She has requested for 4 designs from my Etsy shop. So I'm going to use those patterns and use her fabric to sew these blouses for her. I have her measurements already, so I'm going to compare her measurements and see it in my size chart, compare it with my size chart and see what measurement is best suited for her body. So let's see how we're going to do that, how to cut the fabric and then sew it. If you want your own patterns, if you want these patterns for yourself, you can get that for free by clicking on the link that I've given in the description box. So for this entire month, you can download these 4 patterns and use it for yourself. Watch my videos and make these blouses for yourself. So let's get started. So this is the design that I'm going to work on first, and these are her measurements. So looking at her measurements and comparing it with the size chart that comes with these patterns, I have decided that medium size is what is going to suit her best, because medium is for 36 bust. So I'm going to select that. I have copied and traced those patterns and I'm going to use it for cutting the fabric now. Let's begin with cutting the fabric first. Fold your outer fabric and your lining fabric and keep them on top of each other. Preferably the lining fabric is kept on top because we'll be marking the lines for the seam allowance, and it's better that you see your lines on the lining fabric. Take your front body pattern now, and I'm going to give a small little dart in the center to give it a much better fitting. You can choose to do it, you cannot choose to do it also. It's up to you. It just gives a little bit extra fitting at the center. Now place the pattern. You will have to align your center because you've given that fold and that has made the center line not very straight. Hence you will need to align your pattern accordingly. Place the pattern and put your pins as usual and mark your seam allowance, usually half inch everywhere and 1 inch at the side, just in case you have to change any measurements later on. You have to do some fitting at the maybe at the later stage. So for that purpose, we will give a little extra seam allowance at the side. So accordingly, mark your seam allowance, mark all your darts, and then cut your fabric. Similarly, take your back pattern and place it. Now back has a opening at the back. We have opening at the back, so you can keep it at the edge of the fabric. You don't need to keep it on fold because it's not one pattern. Again, place your pins accurately and then mark your seam allowance, half inch everywhere and 1 inch at the side. After marking your seam allowance, cut the fabric. After your front and the back patterns are done, how about we use the leftover fabric and make some bias tapes. No matter how your neckline is, just make some extra bias tape. You never know where you will require them. So cut some diagonal lines. Maybe 1 1/4 width is good enough for the bias tape, or 1 1/2 if you like to have it bigger. And cut some strips for your bias binding and keep them aside. After cutting the bias tape, let's also cut some straight fabric for the hemming of your blouse at the bottom. At the bottom, it's a straight pattern. Bias tapes are used usually when your line of sewing is curvy, when your hemming is curved. Then we use the bias tape because it has a natural elasticity to it. But when your pattern are straight, you really don't need to use the bias tape. You can cut straight fabric and use them for binding them. So let's cut some straight fabric so that we can do hemming for the front bottom and back bottom, as well as the opening that we have at the back. Now use a tracing paper, use a contrast color so that you're able to see your line, and watch the way I have put the tracing paper. I have faced it towards myself so that when I'm copying it, when I'm using the tracing wheel, my lines are visible on the lining fabric. So similarly, use this and copy all your darts so that you have darts line drawn on either side of your pattern, because right now we have only marked it on one side. After using the tracing paper, we will have it on both the sides. So use the tracing paper and your tracing wheel so that you have your lining marked on the other side as well. After all your lining and everything is done, your darts are marked, keep your lining fabric on your outer fabric and put some pins so that they are stable, they don't move, and you are able to fold your darts accurately and put your pins there. Now this is a different type of lining that I'm giving. Usually I love to do seamless lining where you don't get to see any darts or anything, but in this particular case the fabric for the blouse is so thin that you need to give some backing to it. You need to give some strength to it. So I'm literally fusing the lining fabric on your outer fabric so that when you're sewing the darts, they are much stronger. You can also choose to do another layer of lining so that your darts and everything is invisible and you have seamless lining inside. There are some blouses in my previous videos where I've given absolutely seamless lining. But that's just a double work, and if you can get away with it, then just go ahead and do the fusing. Use the lining as your fusing for your outer fabric so it has strength. Now fold all your darts very accurately. Make sure you're pinning exactly on the lines. That is very important because when you're sewing your darts, your fitting can actually change if you're not really putting your pins on the line and then sewing on the line. So make sure all your darts are folded properly, accurately, and your pins are put accurately. Do that for the front pattern as well as for the back pattern. Now all your material is ready to be taken to the sewing machine, and one by one we start sewing all the darts. That's always the first step. Start sewing all the darts in the front, including your armhole dart, waist dart, and then the back darts. Now that all your darts are sewn, next step is to sew your shoulders. So match your front shoulders with the back shoulder. Make sure that you're joining it from the wrong side. Don't have the front right side and the back as the wrong side. You will need to do it again. It's a very common mistake. So just join your front shoulders with the back shoulder. Place them in a way that you are going to sew on the wrong side of the fabric. I hope you know what wrong side of the fabric. Wrong side of the fabric is the one which is going to be inside. It's not facing outside. So that's the wrong side of the fabric. Now that you have put the pin, take it to the sewing machine and sew both the shoulders. Now at this stage, if your fabric is fraying, and even if it's not fraying, it's a good idea to give overlock to all the edges inside. It'll make your inside of the garment look better. After that, join all your bias tapes. Just connect them together and make a long strip of it so that you don't need to worry about it later and add some extra and all that. Just use all this strips and connect them together. Look at the way I'm joining them. I've kept them diagonally and then sewing on top so that it becomes a long, smooth, continuous bias tape. Once your tapes are ready, let's start with the neckline first. Now because we're working with 2 layers of fabric, it makes sense that you put some extra pins so that your lining doesn't fall apart, doesn't go away from the outer fabric. They both should be fused properly. And I'm especially putting a pin at the shoulder seam so that the seam is in one direction. It's not, one side is going other side, and they both match together going in one direction. Now place the bias tape. You see how I folded it, and I'm sewing it from the right side. Bias tapes are sewn from the right side of the fabric because later they are pushed inside and sewn, given the edging and the kind of a border from inside. So I'm going to be using 1/2 inch seam allowance, or depends how much seam allowance you've given for your patterns. That seam allowance is where you'll be sewing on the machine. So use the bias tape, cover the entire neckline, and give a stitch. Now after you've done your bias tape, cut off the extra tape and then give some cuts, some notches at the inseam of your bias tape. If you watched my previous video, this is one step that I always do. It's very important because you want the tape to fold very neatly and smoothly. You don't want any tension in the seam. So giving some cuts at the inseam will help you to give a nice smooth finishing. So once that is done, sew it from the right side because we want our stitches to be nice and parallel to the edge. If you're going to sew from inside, then you don't know whether your lines are going parallel or not, and this gives you more visibility and you're able to visualize how it's going to look, your end product is going to look. So giving a stitch parallel to the edge is a good idea, and doing it from the right side will keep you in much more control. So do that for your neckline, and similarly the same method you will use for your armhole, for both the armhole. Attaching the bias tape from the right side, giving the notches, pushing it inside, and then sewing again from the right side. Once all your bias binding is done, you've finished your neckline and your armhole, we need to finish up the hem, bottom hem of your blouse. So we're going to use the straight cut strips that we made. We're going to fold them and join it from the right side. The method is same as your bias tape, but it's just that here we're using the straight cut tapes, not the bias cut tapes. So fold it and sew it. And you don't need to give notches for this one because it's a straight cut. Notches are given for the edging which is a little bit curvy. This is not curvy, so you can use straight cut. You don't need to give any notches. Fold it in and then sew it. Do that for the front pattern and the back two patterns. Why two pattern at the back? Because we have opening at the back and hence we have two patterns for the back. So repeat this for the back as well. Now this design has a nice opening at the back, so we're going to use straight cut strips for the back as well. Again, fold the strip, sew it and then fold it in. But this time when we folded it, we're not going to sew it for the machine. We want a nice finishing for the blouse, and hence a hemming by hand would be much better. We don't want to see the lines going across. In fact, all the bias tapes in the blouses are usually done by hand. Hand hemming gives much better look. You don't get to see the stitches in front, and that is a much more desirable finishing for a lot of people. But for the sake of the video, because it's just faster, so I'm just showing it like that. Anyhow, I will do this with hand only. You will be doing this for both the sides. Now this design has a nice tie back strap, so for that I'm going to cut two straps. The width of the strap is 4 inches. After folding it will become 2 inches, and you will just sew at the edge and turn them inside out. So that means you have to sew from the wrong side and then turn them inside out. After that, just close the opening from one side, the one which is going to be hanging down. So close that opening and then give it a nice ironing. Give it a good steam ironing so that when you place it on top of your pattern, you don't have any folds or wrinkles around it. Now place these straps on the back hem, and see carefully how I'm placing them. I'm putting my pins at the edge, and then at the center back, I've given a little bit cut at the bottom and turned it outward, and the facing that I had given earlier, the strap that I had given earlier, that is faced inward. And then I've put the pin and I'm going to sew it on the machine, just creating a tiny box around it. The same thing you will do on the other side of your pattern. So this is one side of your back pattern, the other side of your back pattern. Repeat the same process. Now the blouse is almost ready. We're going to join the front pattern and the back pattern from the side seam. I have already given overlocking on that because the material is extremely fraying, and even if it's not, it just gives very good finishing if you overlock it. So let's join both the sides at the for the blouse, giving your seam allowance of 1 inch. If you want to do some personal fitting, you can do that. You can give the shape based on your own personal fitting, but 1 inch seam allowance, because that's what we had followed from the pattern. So we will just go ahead and follow that. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be doing hand sewing, a simple hemming. This is called a very basic slant hemming, and I'm going to use that to finish this back facing, the back closure. Now if you want to know how to do this, or maybe any other hand sewing techniques, there is a video on that which I can give the link in the description, so you can see a lot of hand sewing and learn a lot of hand sewing there. And after this is done, you can put a hook button at the top. The bottom has a strap for tying, and at the top corner you can use a hook button. With this, your blouse is ready. I have used ready-made pattern for this, which you can buy from my Etsy shop. And if you want to learn, then the link is also in the description box. Please follow that. Thank you.